Hey everybody, this is Theresa from Eye of Taurus Tarot, and I am coming at you today with a pick a card reading. And this reading is going to be, what do I need to know about this situation? So we have pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. And if it helps, I put out some stones. So these are raw. I'm not really one for tumbled gems. So this is pink quartz, which you might not be able to see it all that great in this light today. This is citrine, the orange. So we have pink quartz, citrine, and then we have some raw fluorite, which is green. Okay. So take a minute and decide. I think the best way to decide on a pick a card is to take a minute and just close your eyes. I will have the timestamps down below, and that is actually the way I do when I am watching other readers. And I have one of my favorite readers for pick a card readings is Simply Empath. She is just the cutest thing, and I love her, and she is great at it. And I really recommend you check out her channel. And but I always know by looking at the timestamps, and the numbers will just jump out at me and say, this is your reading. So if it helps, that's how I would do it. Okay, so I will see you guys at the next. Okay, so I'm going to put number 3 and number 2 off to the side, and we are going to take a look at number 1. All right. So right away, you have some decisions to make. Yeah. Okay. All right, and I don't know if you can see all those. We might have to do this a little bit. Okay. So what I'm getting off of this is that, yeah, there has recently been a development in this situation that left you just a little bewildered, and you have had to draw back to make your decisions. And that's actually what your spirit guides are telling you to do. We have the retreat card. It's time to disconnect from the world. What I am really getting from this is you need to take a step back, come back into your power. We have the Empress here, and really take a look at your situation and decide, what do you want? How do you want your reality to look? So for your tarot cards, we have the Empress, we have Temperance, the Eight of Cups, and the Four of Pentacles. So that tells me that some things that you really wanted to work out just didn't work out. They didn't come into play. And you're trying to find your balance. You're trying to do this, but there will be some communication coming in. We do have the Messenger card here. So watch for some signs and synchronicities to tell you what the right moves are in this situation. Now, this could be love, but right now I'm going to take it as a general life situation. So we'll start with that. In life, what I think you need to do is take a step back and rethink your strategy. Excuse me. So we have the strategy card here, which that glare is pretty bad, but strategy card. But we also have storm warnings. So this tells me that you're just really worried about, if you don't do the right thing, if you don't strategize correctly, if you don't come up with the best plan, then you're really scared that it's all going to just blow up in your face. And what you're being advised to do is find your balance. And the way you find your balance is by taking that step back, because right now what I feel like is that you're getting bombarded by fear. So maybe that fear is coming in the way of well-meaning friends and family that say, oh, this isn't going to work. Oh, it's not time yet. I have people in my life that I just do not tell my plans to, because they never have anything but negativity to spread, because they haven't done the things that they want to do. So they can't see it for you because they can't see it for them. And that's a them thing. That's really a their issue, but it's very easy sometimes to let that doubt really creep into our minds. So in the traditional tarot, this is somebody walking away from something, somebody giving up something, but the problem is that we've got it paired with the Four of Pentacles. So this is, do I stay or do I go? Do I hold on or do I let it go? Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So where this comes in your life is a very foot on the gas, foot on the brake energy. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth kind of energy. And what you're being advised to do is just take a step back, relax, take a deep breath. This is temperance. Okay. Temperance is about balance. Okay. The information that you need will come in. It really, really will. But you are not in a space to receive it if you're all up in your own head and you're just running around in circles in your brain and you're your own little tornado. You're not going to hear it. You're not going to see it. You're not going to vibe with it. You won't be in the right alignment to understand the signs and synchronicities that are coming your way. You won't receive them. So your best bet is to take a step back. Really kind of, again, review your plan, what it is you want. So here's strategy and the Empress. Now the Empress is all about growth. She is all about her own little world. If you take a look at this card, I apologize for the glare, but she has the wheel of all the zodiac in front of her. Okay, she's a little bit of everything. She is Mother Earth, and she is Venus, and she is Athena, and she is Eris, and she is Aries, and she is Hermes, and she is a little bit of everybody. Okay, she's not the high priestess, but she is the Empress. She is the embodiment of the divine feminine, and so what we want is to become the all in our own lives. And so when you only play up one aspect of yourself, you can very well lose all the other aspects, or they become dormant. You don't really lose them, but they become dormant. It's like a muscle that you never work. And so they can become quiet and sleepy. And you're being called to kind of decide with this strategy, who are you and what it is, what do you want your life to look like? What do you want your reality to look like? And then really go for it. Okay. One thing I do want to mention, I write a lot of poetry, and what I have seen from a lot of writers is a huge uprising of our acknowledgement of being divine, for both men and women, but especially for women, kind of rising up and embracing our inner divine. But I also see a lot of judgment, where women are like, well, you don't respect yourself if you're showing your body. And an athlete is going, I damn well respect myself. That's why I'm showing my body. I'm extremely proud of how hard I've worked. And, I'm really proud of who I am. And when I say embracing all sides of us, that's what I mean. That you can be the all in your own life. You absolutely can be a woman who, and different things empower different women. So some women are more modest and some women show a little bit more. And it's really not about their physicality as much as the point is you can embrace different aspects of yourself and still be the Empress in your own world. Okay, so you don't have to be just one way or another way, or you don't have to be A, B, C, D, but skip E because society shuns it. You can be everything, and you need to be. You need to be. You can't be the supporting actress in your own life. You have to be the lead actress. Okay, so I am going to pull a clarifier here. Just for this Eight of Cups card. And these are my answer deck. And I do kind of see them as like That one didn't really pop, so I'm going to put it back. I do see them as kind of a raw truth deck. Okay, so again, so we pulled the growth card. Okay, so it's trees and it's the little guy on the path, and that's what this is really about, is you growing into all aspects of yourself. So previously unexplored aspects of yourself. Okay, so if you've always been a mother and a wife, and you know you're somebody's mom and somebody's sister and somebody's wife and somebody's cousin and somebody's daughter, maybe it's time to explore your individuality, you know? But again, in a general life read, this is what this is saying, is take a step back, pull back, re-examine your strategy. Maybe you have a business plan that you're not quite sure of. Get some information. Google, research, talk to people who are entrepreneurs. You know, maybe you're thinking about going back to school. You know, these are things that you need to kind of take a look at. How is it going to fit into your world? And one thing I do want to say, especially with the Empress card being here and the Growth card being here, is that you have to push past your fears. You can't be so afraid of what might go wrong that you're not even willing to try, and you're just stopping your own self in your tracks. Like, take this video, for example. It's probably grainy. It's you know, I don't have like perfect lighting, but there are people making videos every day on their cell phones. You know, at least, you know, if I were to have everything perfect all the time, I would never get off the ground, right? So it's okay if things are not exact and they're not perfect. So we have all these little imperfect cups, and sometimes we really are tempted to chuck the entire idea because, you know, it's not exactly the way we pictured. But you have all of these gifts to give, and they're not going to be known if everything has to be perfect before you can give them. So that's the message I'm getting in that. In love, I'm getting a very different message. So in love, what I see here is, and I'm gonna go ahead and pull a couple more cards as far as love. Okay, so, and I am not doing reversals today, just FYI, not doing reversals today. Okay, so for love, we have a little bit of a different portrait. Okay, we have the Queen of Swords, the Six of Cups, and the Hermit. Again, it's the same message. Your spirit guides want you to pull back and re-examine the situation, re-examine this whole picture. You are suffering a little bit of, and it doesn't have to be suffering. This can be nostalgia, the Six of Cups. It can also indicate a soulmate connection. So if you're sitting there going, oh my God, I know everyone and their dog has told me that this is my soulmate. How come we're not together? Soulmate does not always mean marriage. You have many, many soulmates out there. It does not always mean that you're going to stay together and be together forever. It just, you have a lot of soulmates out there. A lot of times what it is a reawakening of yourself. Now, that can be union between you and you, or it can be union. If we take a look at this Temperance card, which I'm so sorry for the quality here and how glaring it is, but she does have 2 cups in this deck, and this could definitely be a reconciliation. Okay, somebody did walk away in the past, though. They absolutely did. Whether it was you or the other person, somebody checked it. Somebody said, nope, this isn't enough, or it's not what I want. Or sometimes they just chuck it and they don't even tell you why. And you have gone into not hiding, but you have definitely pulled back. You're healing. You need to heal. You will be receiving a message. Now, when I say you're going to receive a message, the first place that everybody goes to is a verbal message. They're not always verbal. Sometimes the truths that we're looking for, and here we have the Queen of Swords, and the Queen of Swords is that woman or man that has just been through the mill. They've been through the ringer in life and in love. They have not had, they're not Chad, you know what I mean? Which, sorry to any Chad out there, but what I mean is They're not somebody that got a plate handed to them full of abundance. They have had to work for everything they've ever had. They've had to work to keep anything they ever wanted. And they've lost a lot. They've been through the mill. And this is the energy that either you or your ex-partner is embodying right now, is a very cold, but it's a very logical energy. They're just really taking a look at anything. If it doesn't fit in their picture, it's out. But what I do sense from this is that on the outside, this person has completely left the situation and they're saying, I'm cool, I'm good. I didn't need this anyway, kind of petulance. On the inside, they are holding to the memories. Like I said, we have the Four of Pentacles and the Six of Cups here. And on the inside, the side that they will not show you, probably don't show anybody, but in quiet times, they're thinking. They really are. They're remembering and they're thinking. And so when this card comes up about a message coming in your way, it's not always verbal. Sometimes it's getting a reading that resonates with you deeply. Sometimes it comes through a friend. Sometimes it's a song that you hear that just clicks and you go, this is the truth I was waiting for. And it resonates with you so deeply that it's true. So don't always be looking for exactly a phone call or a text message or something directly from that person, because sometimes, a lot of times actually, and especially in spirit language, it's not going to come that way. It's going to come in a way where you understand on a level that maybe you just didn't want to understand on before. We have a tendency to do that. Sometimes we don't always want to look at the full picture. Now, your last card is focus. And as you can see, we've got the woman with the arrow, kind of an Artemis or a Sagittarius type image. And this is you focusing on you. This is really you taking the time to make your world everything it should be. So you take a step back and you formulate a plan. What area of your life did you want to be filled? And what I'm getting very strongly in this moment, that maybe possibly somebody in this situation may have been looking at the other person to kind of fill that void for them. And that can never be done by another person. So if you're sitting there going, no, it wasn't me, I didn't feel that way, that's okay. You don't have to feel that way. But sometimes we can look outside of ourselves for someone to, quote, make us happy. And if you get down to the real nitty gritty of it, well, where is your dissatisfaction in your life? This is where the Empress comes in. She plants seeds. She decides, right? And then once you decide, you have to take an action. You really do have to take an action. The universe will absolutely meet you halfway if you will take an action. Your last card, and as far as the romance, is you deserve love. And again, I just can't say it enough. This is all pairing together because we've got growth, we've got you deserve love, and we've got the Empress. Yes, you have these memories, and it doesn't mean that you guys won't reconcile at some point if this is a love situation, but the growth happens in the separation. The growth is where you're putting your pieces together, and you have to love yourself enough to do that. And that's your message. You have to love yourself enough. So if your goal is weight loss, you have to love yourself enough to make yourself healthy meals. You have to love yourself enough to take a walk during the day. You have to love yourself enough to make the commitment to yourself. As soon as you start valuing you, it's amazing what happens in your external world. And there's things that go around that say, quit telling people to love themselves first. But I'm sorry, that's where it all begins. It's just one of those things. If you can't commit to you, it's going to be very hard for your frequency to align with somebody who will. And so those are the messages for pile 1 today. Definitely leave me, if this resonated with you, let me know in the comments. I'm excited to be back. I've had a rough 4 months, but I am very excited to be back, and I'm so glad to be able to do this with you. And hi everybody, and thank you so much. And I will be moving on to pile 2 now. Okay, if you chose the citrine, this is your reading. And I am not reading reversals today, just so everybody knows. Okay. I can, but I'm not going to today. All right, so give me just a second. Okay, so right away, right off the bat, we have a very beautiful, lovely connection here. If we're doing general life spread, what I would say is that both parties are on point as far as on the same road that they're going down. One little glitch that might happen, and it's not even really a glitch. We have a few different cards here. We have the 7th chakra Archangel Uriel, which the glare on this screen is just so bad, and I apologize. And then we have Happy Family. We have Trust, Vision, okay, which is love. We have the Queen of Pentacles. We also have the King of Pentacles. We have the Page of Swords. And we have the Knight of Swords. So, now there would be people a lot of times that say that, the Page of Swords is just inherent, I don't know, like bad news or something like that. But it isn't always. Pages are messengers, yes, but you're also young. All right, so I could read this as a life reading, but I just don't think it is. I think this is, as far as this reading is concerned, this is love. This is romance. Okay, so you have 2 people on a very specific path. So this might be a very specific message for someone, but one of the things that you need to understand is that this is a soul connection. Right off the bat, we have a soul connection, and from what I am seeing here, this is a life partner connection. This is, you two are going to be. Now, what I'm getting from the Page of Swords and the Knight of Swords is there's a little bit of gossip. Okay, there's a, and it doesn't have to be, but that's what I'm getting. There has been a little bit of gossip. There has been a little bit of, I don't know, just a little bit of ish is what I'm going to say from people around the situation. But what you need to know about this situation is that you can trust yourself and you can trust the other. You can trust this situation. It's all going to work out. It's going to be fine. Connect to your higher self. That is a big message with the 7th chakra Archangel Uriel card. You need to be connecting to your higher self. So if you have felt blocked in this area whatsoever, or you've let your worries get to you, your doubts get to you, your fears get to you, if you've tried to control the situation just a little bit too much, or you can feel that you want to control the situation, you need to let it flow. Let it be organic. Do not stress yourself. Oh, what is he thinking? What is she thinking? What are they going to say? Are they going to come back? Are they not going to come back? Just don't do that to yourself, because you can't control it any better doing that. You really can't. Oftentimes when we let go is when the energy opens up to allow the things that we want to come flowing in. Okay. But this is definitely a real connection. And so you do not need to worry about whether or not it is. If you have been doing a little spying on social media, then I would stop. Okay. Because your person is action oriented. Okay. They're probably not doing anything to warrant that. That is inner fear, that is insecurity. And with our vision card, with our Aphrodite card, you need to get a hold of that if that's something that you're doing, or if your partner is doing something like that, they need to get a hold of that. That is not for anybody else to fix. So one thing I do want to say is if you're in a relationship where someone expects you to stop being you, in order, and I'm not talking about compromise. I'm not talking about one person leaves the cap off the toothpaste and the other one likes it on, or somebody is, I'm not talking about regular compromise. I'm talking about, oh, you can't talk to this person or you can't talk to that person, unless it's been something really big. That glare is just too bad. Unless it's been something really big, I'm not a big fan of toxic monogamy rules where you have to quit being yourself to make someone else feel more secure. That is something that they have to work on themselves. And I know that that's an unpopular opinion. A lot of people would say, no, no, no. If they respect you, they'll do this or that. It's a really great way to end your relationship, is what I'm going to say. It's a really great way to suffocate your relationship, because yes, will that person give you what you want in the short term? Yeah. But what about the resentment building up underneath? It's not really worth it. If you two can come to an agreement of what makes each one of you feel safe, then do it that way. But not well, if you want me then, or if you loved me then. That's manipulative, and that's very different. Okay. I'm going to just put that out there. But I don't see that from this person at all. I see a very deep soul connection. This has been brought and blessed over. This has been blessed. So I don't see anything in here that warrants any kind of real worry. And in fact, it's making other people jealous. So I think you're okay. I'm going to pull a couple of additional cards. Yeah, so we have Woman with a Heart. This is you or your person ready to offer. Yep. And we have Woman holding a coin. Now, I say him and her out of habit, but this could be same sex, and this could be, the other thing that this could be is poly. I'm going to put it out there. You know what? That's something I see a lot is people they'll talk about third party situations, but they always put them in a negative light. There are a lot of third and fourth situations out there where people are happy. So this could be a polyamorous situation. And if it is, God bless you. I hope everybody's good. It's okay. Okay, so if there's any glitch to be had, it's this insecurity that I was sensing earlier, okay? So if this isn't a poly relationship, or you don't want to have a relationship like that, and you're sitting there going, no, I just want one person, just me and that person, then back off just a little bit. Because if you will let this flow organically, then I think you're going to get what you want. I really do. I think it's going to come in really, really fast the moment you let go of the reins. But you and that person can absolutely be moving in the same direction if you will have a little more self-confidence and understand what it is you're bringing to the table. Not just in voice either, because you can stand up and go, well, I'm bringing this to the table, and they don't even know what they have with me. And you can yell that to the sky. But if your inner self does not agree, you're going to be acting in ways that are not they don't show that. They're going to be acting in ways that are more immature, acting in ways that are less appreciative of the relationship you could have, acting in ways that are not relevant to the queen or the king that you believe yourself, or saying that you are. So this whole reading is just saying, relax, trust, because you guys are on a good path. And I'll draw one more card on that too. Yep, this could be the one. This could be the one. So one of you knows and one of you is worried, is what I'm getting. One of you knows or is close to knowing that this is the thing. This is where they want to be. This is what they want to do, whether it's you or your person. If you are feeling like this could be the one, but you're scared, you're worried, or sometimes your insecurities get triggered, I really, 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 really recommend self-love meditations. I really recommend doing things that pour your own cup within you so that you are not relying on another person to do it for you. Because then you're in a space of balance where you can look at the picture logically, not emotionally, and your decisions for your relationship are not being decided by your inner 6-year-old that wants what they want when they want it. Okay? Or gets scared and needs this like yesterday. Okay? Because when we react like that, we push the other person away. That's what we do. We make them take a look and go, well, maybe this isn't the one I thought it was, but she just freaked out on me, or he just freaked out on me, and maybe I was wrong. And the reading here is a beautiful one. It's really beautiful. It's got a lot of really great energy. So there's no reason you can't have this if that's what you want. If you want the king and the queen together, really step into your power and be that queen. And that queen is both. She is logical and she is also emotional, but she has balance. When she feels her storms are rising, she knows how to calm her own storms. She doesn't give it to somebody else to do the work. So, or he. Okay. So if this resonated with you, leave me a message in the comments below. Please, no negative comments. I am really, really excited to be back with you guys. It's been a rough 4 months, but I am here and I'm super excited, and I will be back for more readings. So I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Hi. All right. So if you chose pile number 3, which was the fluorite, let's get your cards going. Okay. All right. So the first one I was able to do like this great big general life reading with, but the second one was love, and the third one is looking like it's love as well. So, okay. For your situation, what you need to know. Cycles are ending. We have the world, the door to romance, unrequited love, the moon. We have the Queen of Wands, the Fool, 9 of Pentacles, and the 4 of Swords. So this is it might be a specific read, but what it's talking about, I am going to pull a couple of clarifiers on this one, just from what I can see thus far. But old cycles are ending. Now, we are going to pull a clarifier for the world to see which old cycles are ending. What I immediately think of, really feel, is that there's cycles about how you think, how you perceive the world, and how you perceive your relationships, which, hallelujah, if that's old behavioral patterns that need to get checked, then that can only be a good thing. That's not a bad thing, okay? With the ending of this cycle brings in new energy to bring you the things that you want. Okay. All right, we do have unrequited love. Again, I'm going to pull a clarifier for this as well. Okay, there's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. Now, this can mean one of two things. So, for some of you, this is a person pulling away from their old partner to come towards you. Okay, you can see, like, and you probably can't see because the darn glare on this is just so bad today. I can't even handle it. But so I apologize on that. But, with this particular card, she's just kind of very meh. She's just looking, he's kissing her hand, and she's just like, yeah, I could take it or leave it. So this could be a person pulling away from the old relationship to come towards you, and we'll get a clarifier on that. Or this could be just exactly what it is, and you have interest in a person that just is not accepting your cup. They just aren't. Okay. Now, we do have the moon card, so there are things that you don't know about this situation. We'll clarify this as well and try to find out what those things are. Okay. You are in a period of rest and recovery. We've got the Four of Swords here. Okay. But again, we have the closing out of the world, which means, you're ending these old cycles, you're starting into new ones. And with that comes your fire. Your fire will return. I promise. Your fire will return. It's sleeping. Okay. It's not gone. It's not gone. It's just sleeping. Okay. Sometimes, it's a yearly thing. Bears need to hibernate, right? So when the bear is sleeping, it doesn't mean he's gone forever. It just means he's sleeping. Okay. But then he comes back, he's renewed, he's ready, the fire is lit. This is somebody who knows what she wants. She knows what she wants. Okay, and ain't nobody going to get in her way either. She's going to get it. Okay. And the reason I say that is because we've got the Fool, we've got these brand new leap of faith beginnings. And I really feel that you are going to be taking a huge chance on yourself, which is awesome. So we've also got that with the Nine of Pentacles. Now, some people would say this is the single forever card, but I don't see it that way in this spread. What I think is that after this period of rest and recovery, you are going to come in like a firebrand, and this is going to signal those new beginnings. I see you taking huge chances on yourself. I see you giving you that faith. Okay. I see you saying to yourself, okay, I have this faith. I'm going to take a chance on me, and I know completely what I'm capable of, and I'm a badass, so I'm going to do it. And here we have the Nine of Pentacles, and look at all the work and effort she's put in there. And when I say work, I want to clarify this. Some of the richest people in the world do not work hard at all. Okay, so this whole idea that you have to work your ass off to get anything, to me, it's just bullshit. I'm sorry, but it is. There are people in this world who have never worked hard a day in their life and have more money than people who have worked hard their whole lives. Okay, so it's not about that. It's about aligning with what it is you want. Okay, so we have these gorgeous pentacles, and we have this beautiful butterfly, and we have the phoenix. So here she is, renewed. She's renewed, or he. Okay, they're renewed. All right, let's pull some clarifiers here. So I am going to ask for another answer. This is my Wisdom House of Night deck, and it is by PC Cast and Colette Baron Reed. And I don't know about you guys, but I love Colette Baron Reed. Okay, so well, we almost had one. I always ask Spirit to just pop my cards, because that way I'm not picking. And everybody has a different way of shuffling, but that's how I do it. Okay, so we have the fledgling. Okay, and it's also coupled with High Priestess of Earth and love. So this is you coming into your own. This is you having the self-love and the self-determination to understand who you are, coming from a place of your own High Priestess knowledge of who am I? What do I want? This is you filling your own cup. It's a big part of it, okay? Now, the advice here, or maybe not advice, but the message here is that you're a fledgling when it comes to love. You are still learning. And for a lot of people, this is kind of, and it's not meant to be insulting, but people might take it that way just because they're like, I'm 50 years old. I'm not a fledgling in love. Here's the thing. When we don't know ourselves, or when we get stunted at a young age, okay, or like let's say that the relationships our parents had were not the healthiest, okay, it takes years if we're working on ourselves. It can take a very long time to come out of what we think normal looks like, because a lot of us are reenacting old patterns, okay, and that follows us in our love lives, okay. That's where self-sabotage comes in. That's where sometimes it's very dramatic. So things like that can come in, and you really do have to get down to your own roots, okay, and examine those patterns. Are they serving you? Are they helping you? I used to have a friend who would always say, well, if I'm actually wrong, then I'll apologize, but not unless I'm wrong. Well, okay, that's not helpful. Okay, because you might not ever think you are wrong, right? So that person is like, and I was given permission to use that, but that person was like, when would you consider yourself wrong? And how hard would the other person have to work for you to see that they were hurt? And it really doesn't matter who's right and who's wrong. You don't get to tell another person that they weren't hurt by your actions, right? They're allowed to feel their feelings. So this card, along with this fledgling, as it's just a very young card. It means that maturing might be needed, and this could be you or the person you're dealing with. It could be maturing that might be needed. It could be self-love that might be needed. I always, and to all my friends, to everybody I know, I recommend self-love meditation, because most of us were not given the tools to fill our own cups. We just weren't. It just wasn't a thing, especially for Gen Xers and older generations. It wasn't a thing that we were given a lot of times. So we don't know how to do it. And then we end up looking for love in all the wrong places because we're looking for someone to fill that cup. So you really do need to get down into your own soil and know yourself. And the way to do that is by really examining, how did I show up? How did I show up? And what do I want in the future? Okay. And again, it's really about building. It's about building ourselves from the ground up. So you're having to do a little work here after the rest period is over. After you get done sleeping, okay, after your soul heals a little bit, you need to be ready and willing to do this work, because as you build, come in with the fire, okay, but also don't let your ego talk you out of anything. Don't let your ego come up with all the reasons that you can't succeed. Just take that leap of faith, okay? But if what you want is a certain type of relationship, okay, if what you want is a true partnership, right? A real partnership, then you need to be in the frequency where you would be in alignment with that true partnership. And if you're in a space of not being willing to take a look at how you've shown up or anything like that, then you're not in a space of the growth, okay? Let me put it to you this way. We have to really come into ourselves. You do not ever have to be perfect. There's a lot of really black and white spectrum thinking out there. And especially where law of attraction is concerned, there's a lot of black and white thinking out there. It's you have to become everything that you want. Well, there's plenty of people that are in happy, loving, respectful, reciprocal, gentle, stimulating, sexually gratifying, intellectually interesting relationships. And one person makes $30,000 a year and the other one makes 80. Or one person didn't have their shit together in one area and the other one did. So you don't have to be perfect, okay? You don't have to be perfect. But it's really a good idea if you want a very rich and satisfying, fulfilling relationship to be willing to get down to the truth of you, What is it you actually want? There's a whole bunch of people out there pretending that they're cool with stuff that they're not actually cool with. Just to get what they want. And they don't mean to. It's not a conscious thing. It's actually subconscious programming. It's your inner child can really take the car over if you're not careful. Okay? So this is just about coming into your own, building your own empire and building you from the ground up. Use your fire. You're a phoenix. You're ready to go. But you also have to believe in yourself and love yourself enough to take that leap of faith. You just do. So let's pull some clarifiers for this moon card because I don't like it. So let's see what we got here. I'm using the Gilded Tarot for this. Okay. So again, this is what you actually truly want. You want your 10 of Cups. But you really have to define, what does that 10 of Cups look like for you? What does this look like? I can honest to God tell you that my 10 of Cups is me being independently wealthy in a way where, being self-employed, getting to travel wherever I want, because money to me means freedom, right? It means not working for somebody else, and it means I get to travel. My children are grown, and I had been a single mom. So the 10 of Cups to me means traveling and meeting new people, but it also means being in a wonderful, reciprocal, loving relationship with my life partner, because at this point in my life, I'm kind of over all the stuff, I would like to have a real connection, and that's us traveling together. That's me teaching spirituality, at different venues. That's, him doing whatever it is he wants to do. So, that's my 10 of Cups. I know what my 10 of Cups looks like. That's health and abundance for me and my children and my partner. So those are the things you just really have got to get on board with you and what you want. Okay. And let's look at that unrequited love, because that's, that could really go a few different ways, but sometimes it's very, it's a kind of card to get. All right, 7 of Pentacles. So seeds have been planted. So because we're getting the 7 of Pentacles here, I'm going to say that this is not, that this person does not feel that way about you. It's that they're not ready to come forward. You're going to have some patience. They're going to have some patience, because right now we're at a stalemate. Whatever happened here, there is love. There is love. It's not being talked about, I don't think. I'm going to draw a couple more cards. Let's get a clarifier for door to romance. Yeah, so there was some heartbreak here. Yeah. And it looks like you and that other person are in separation right now. Okay. But with the 7 of Pentacles here, you're just going to have to be patient, because you fretting over it is not going to make it move any faster. It's not going to move any faster. This is your time. This is your you time. If you're in separation right now, the best advice I have for you is to get your ass moving in the direction of what you want in your life and make it your own. Build it yourself. No one can ever take from you what you build yourself like that. Okay, like when my children were little and I didn't have any help from my ex, and I was putting myself through school, and I was working sometimes one job, sometimes 2 jobs. Nobody can take that from me. ever. Okay. Like, I worked hard. But it was mine. It was mine. I'm going to get one more card for that unrequited. What's going on with this situation? What does this person need to know about their situation as far as the unrequited love card? As far as how does the other person feel about them in their heart space? Okay, so we have let your friends help you. So right now, this person could be thinking of you more in a friendship way, but the other thing that I'm getting for right now is that there's gonna be some time. There's time has to elapse. Okay, so in the meantime, this is what your work is. Get you figured out. Okay, and I know, people get mad. They're like, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear that this person is coming back and they're coming back tomorrow, and we'll get a clarifier with the three of swords and the justice. What's going on? How's that person feel? Anything, Spirit? I always like Spirit to pop my cards. Okay, so yeah, so there's inner battles going on and anxiety going on, and that could be on either one of your ends, really. That could be that person, or it could be you, or it could be both of you. But both of you are in a time of either stalemate or timeout from each other. That's clear. And there has been heartache probably on both sides. We have the battle card here and we have anxiety, but they are clarified by a man and a woman. So probably on both of your sides that there has been some ish here. Now you might be sitting there going, no, it wasn't me. It was all that person. Don't yell at me in the comments. This is just what's coming up. And we don't get to decide how the other person feels, right? Just like they don't get to decide how we feel. So that very well might be something that they are experiencing, even if you don't like it, even if you don't want to hear it. Okay. And then we've got woman with a heart. So you definitely bear love for this person, or they bear love for you. So we've got two different cards that say that. So it might not be coming to the surface, and saying that, with these cards over here, that might be for your partner or ex-partners. They might have maturing to do. They might have to really dig deep. And one thing that I do want to say on that is that with this moon card here, you may have illuminated, they may have illuminated for you areas in which you need to grow, areas that are triggered easily, that are wounds, core wounds that need to be healed, or you may have illuminated that for them. And they may not be able to handle that. They may not have the maturity to handle how they feel. And so they might have just split. They might have just taken off. Okay. And I'm so sorry if that happened. But that could very well have been what happened. You may have illuminated for them things that they are just plain ass not ready to deal with yet. And here you were, right, going everything's great. Or maybe here they were going everything's great, and the other party left. Okay, so right now your advice, everything for you is all about you building you and you making your life exactly the way you want it to look, or at least in one area. So if your areas, let's say your area is weight loss, you need to love yourself enough to eat well and get some exercise and do your meditations and write in your journal. Like maybe it's mental health, maybe it's getting a better job. And you have kind of been doing this thing where you're like, well, this job sucks, but I'm going to stay here. Why? Why are you staying there? Get a part-time until you can move into full-time, but do something else. Okay. Like if you're in that rut where you're making too much at your job to leave, or you've told yourself that, then you need to change your frequency to align with a higher, just as much of a high paying job as the one that you have, so that you can switch. Okay, it can be done. It does take practice. When you've been practicing a specific frequency for a very long amount of time, it takes practice to change it. It's not one of those things where you practice it for a day and then you go, see, that stuff doesn't work. Okay, so that is the message that I have for you today. If this resonated, leave me a comment down below. I'm so excited to be back, and I look forward to doing more readings with you guys. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.